Welcome back to another video in the Mortal Realms magazine series. Okay, so this week we move on to issue number 11. There we go. Okay, so it's in a nice green colour and we can already see the star of the magazine. Okay, so if it hasn't whetted your appetite, it has mine. Okay, I love my scenery. Okay guys, so just reading down what this one says. It's our Sigmarite Mausoleum Part 1, so I think it's a 2-part kit if I'm not mistaken. Storm Hosts Part 3, so if you recall in previous issues we've had little bits about the Storm Hosts. And using terrain in your games. Okay, so again, like we go every week now, we start to move on, we advance rules, see new things, etc. So there we go. Before I cut off and go up top guys, I just want to show you what you're all here for, and that is the sprues, and we have 2 of them. Okay, so we can see the buildings and the various little bits. That looks nice, a bit of railings and fencing. And it looks like a repeat sprue, so I suspect we're going to get a couple of buildings this time, and a couple of buildings with gubbins next time. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there guys. I'm going to go up top. Let's open this week's mag, we'll have a look, and I'll see you in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back up top. So here we see the front cover of this week's magazine, and we have as always Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms, £7.99, the picture of our cover star, and our bullet points, which we mentioned last time. Sigmarite Mausoleum, Storm Hosts Part 3, using terrain in your games. So let's open the issue up and let's have a look what we got inside. So our contents straight away. Storm Hosts Part 3, 1000 Suns Part 1. It says the origins of the Stormcast Eternals are explained in this timeline, beginning with the Dark Days leading to their creation. And we have Forces of Death, Battle of Bone and Ash, which is in the Realm of Fire, the fury-bound chamber of the Celestial Vindicators clashed with an army of the undead. How to build our mausoleum, and Between Tomb and Terror, which is our playthrough mission. Which says in this playthrough we introduce rules for moving over and around terrain, guiding you through with a series of examples. Okay, our usual little artwork and graphics. The editor's bit, waffle away about bits and bobs, and then we see our first main page, which is the chambers and conclaves, which tells us more about our storm hosts. Then we go on to more of the parts that I really like, where we see the paint schemes, the colours of the storm hosts. So the Hallowed Knights, that's nice, I like the purple on that one. Celestial Knights, too much blue. Fists of Sigmarite, yeah, too much like the normal ones, although I do like the black shoulder pads. Where are we? Knights of the Aurora, that's quite nice. And Azurite Arbiters, okay, which is silver green, a little bit of gold in there. So, again folks, like I always say, if you want to paint your models whatever colour you want, or indeed the colour of a different chapter, you go right ahead. Okay, and then we have the Stormcast Eternals Part 1. It just says 1000 storms. In the Age of Myth, the mortal realms were mostly places of peace, progress and wonder. Okay, and there's just a little bit about the Age of Myth in there guys. And as is now usual, the magazine is starting to fall to pieces. I really do need to get those ring binders out and start putting some of these in. Okay, so we've got some artwork of the legions of Blood Warriors, and then we go on with more of the fluff, Age of Chaos, etc. Then the Forces of Death. Nagash, the great necromancer, has the power of a true god. Indeed he has. Okay, and we see some more lovely artwork there of some of our undead brethren. And again, we carry on with the same theme. And then we get to the Realms of Battle, Bone and Ash. And that tells us a little bit more about a particular battle that happened in the realm. Look at that. Oh my word. Okay, and then a section a few of you do enjoy looking at is the how to build our models. The usual, don't chop your hand off or cut it to pieces with your clippers. And then the assembly guide. So yeah, nothing too hard here guys. I'll be 10 minutes if that. I honestly think all the pieces look pretty symmetrical and look like they're just going to fit together. But it's going to be interesting to show you folks what they look like, because mostly like the non-gamers amongst you won't know an awful lot about scenery and terrain, but obviously, you know, you've seen battlefields in the pictures, so you know we need little buildings and stuff to break up lines of sight and just to make the place more interesting, really, you know. Okay, and then I think this is our gameplay. Yes, it is, between Tomb and Terror, and it just shows us a little picture there, which is what we'd look like with our models, which are chain rasps on one side, castigators on the other side, and obviously some of our new built terrain. So hopefully that started to whet the appetite of you guys who are maybe sitting on the fence and thinking, do I need to have a look at Age of Sigmar or not? Or am I just happy enough listening to this pillock waffle on every week, showing us little bits of magazines? The choice is yours. Okay, so battlefield terrain, showing us how we actually place our terrain and stuff like that. Depending, not in this obvious example, but we do have like terrain does have rules, you know, like you might sort of be within you know, a piece of scenery and it might have sort of special powers. So for instance, if you're within 6 inches of, say for example, this building here, you may get like a +1 to one of your rolls or stuff like that. So terrain, as well as looking pretty, breaking up the battlefield, and is interesting in itself, also has uses, guys, in these games, not just this one, but Warhammer 40k, Lord of the Rings, and all the other ones. Introducing our new rules. There you go. Until now, your units haven't had to worry about navigating over or around terrain and have been able to move up to their move value on the war scroll. So yeah, that's going to teach us a little bit about how we move around. Models to fly can basically go through it or go over it. It's not a problem to them. And then just by now, our normal turn, just showing us how we go about doing that. Just to remind us, really, you know. More again. And then the Nighthaunt turn. The battle continues, and we have our now familiar, you all know what they're called, folks, War Scrolls. And finishing up, we have the Mortal Realms, and just shows us guidance, the Warhammer community, and exploration, basically showing us where we can go beyond here. And then, careful not to show you too much of what's in the coming issues. In our next issue, issue number 12, your next Stormcast Eternal hero, a Knight Questor. These guys really are tasty. You'll enjoy that one next week, folks. Okay, nothing too exciting in issue 13, but I'm not going to show you. So I'm going to go away now, I'm going to build that lovely scenery, and I'll come back, show you it, and we'll finish up. Okay guys, welcome back for the final segment of the video. So I went away and I built these, and they are really, really nice, really easy to build. You know, just clip them and you get like your 4 sides, find out where they line up, a little bit of glue, job's a good one. I would be as bold as to say that it probably takes longer to clip the pieces off the actual sprue than what it does to build them, literally. The only thing you need to make sure you do, obviously, is put the glue along the little mould lines inside the model, and just make sure you follow that. And more importantly, sounds really, really silly, is just make sure you hold the models together tightly to make sure that the glue lines pick up. Alternatively, you could do this with a tight elastic band. As long as it just does the job, you just don't want your lines showing, you know, and having like gaps. I mean, obviously you can fill them in, you know, of course you can. You can know what I'm going to say to you now, don't you? You know, plasticine, blue tack, green stuff, anything like that will work. So there's 3 buildings and there's 2 sets of fencing, and to be honest with you, the fencing is just the same, so I'm just going to show you it once, guys, okay? So as you can see, it's just like railings, and a little bit of a close-up if that gets a focus there. You see some like little skulls on it, and there's like a little pile of skulls and bones and stuff, which will look absolutely beautiful with a dry brush and an ink. Okay, so there's that one, and there's its identical piece. So as you can see, there's 2 of them there, folks. This is only half the kit. In the other half, which it's in a future issue, I thought it was going to be next week's, but obviously it's not. In a few issues or whatever, we're going to get the second part, which is all like bases for the buildings and little tombstones and bits and bobs like that. So that was like a really enjoyable issue, guys. I'm really loving this series. Leave your comments below for me, what you think, and you know, what you'd like to do with the scenery. Would you paint it any different? How would you do it? You know, do you like it? Would you like to see a full Battlefield with scenery, a gameplay? I am thinking about doing like an Age of Sigmar feature, basically introducing the game again, showing how you get started, maybe a little look at the rule book, and a little turn sequence or two. So if it's something that you'll be interested in, let me know below, guys, okay? So in closing, if you like what you see here and you're new, please hit that subscribe button, go back, have a look. There's plenty of content on both Immortal Realms as well as other stuff, Funko Pops and all kinds of other reviews. To you returning folks, thank you very much for your support as always, and I'll see you next week.